She's dedicated, she's committed, and she has passion for the club that's second to none. There's no job too big or too small for Penny to do, as long as it gets done so the event or the race that is being run that day goes off as best as possible. Penny was the third vice president of the club, has held pretty much every position on the board except president. I don't know why, maybe they just wouldn't vote for a woman back then. Thankfully, those days are over. But seriously, she's literally done everything in this club that a person can do and more. She's stepped up, she's filled in, and she's shouldered the burdens that this club has carried for the last 40 years. She's been part of all the Grand Prix races, all the club races, and a volunteer at all of the races that the club has assisted with. She was one of the organizers of the Tuesday night run back in 1992. She's been the director of Saturday in the Park since 1999. She and Phil instituted the Twilight Run in 2004. And if my facts are correct, I believe she and Liz were instrumental in making this party an annual event going back to 1995 and now being the gala that it is. I obviously didn't want to ask Penny what would be her two greatest accomplishments while she was in the club. But I guess if I had to bet, I would say that it would probably be being a part of the initial Jersey Shore relay team and part of the Special Olympics track and field event that's put on every year. I know that that's special to both Penny and Phil, and I'm hoping that I'm close on that guess. Penny, if I missed anything with regards to your significant accomplishments, I'm sorry. I'm sure I have, because if we did all of her accomplishments, we would be here all night. I guess the last thing I want to say about you is there's a very old but true saying, behind every great man, there's a great woman. Penny, you're one great woman. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the club to award you this year's Co-President of the Year Award. This year we did something a little different. We've got Miss Hinck. We're presenting her with Mrs. Hinck, a silver watch with the Jersey Shore logo on the face, engraved on the back, Penny Hinck, founding member, JSRC. You can stay. I think you should stay because you know the other guy. The next President Award winner is Phil Hinck. I gotta talk fast. I was told to be done in a half an hour and I'm not even close. Listen. If you thought it was hard for me to try and write something for Penny and condense it down into a short speech, it was almost impossible to do the same thing for Phil. Phil, like Penny, is one of the original founding members from Team Running Store. He was the president of the Jersey Team Running Store in '92 and '94. He was president of the Jersey Shore Running Club in '96 and 2000. And like Penny, he too has literally done every job imaginable that could be needed or required of this club. He's literally traveled all over the state doing races on behalf of the club and volunteering at other races. Just some of his quick accomplishments. He was the race director for the Sheehan Classic. He's the race director for the original Asbury Park 10K. Race committee head for the New York City Marathon Volunteer Committee. Race committee head for the Jersey Shore Half Marathon. Race committee head for the Men's Olympic Cross Country Trials in 1988 in Liberty Park, New Jersey. And pretty much has done everything and every job that we can ask of him. More recently, he's the race director of the Golden Prix Grand Prix Series, the Belmar 5, the Asbury Park 5K, the Pier Village 5K, the head of the Special Olympics Relay, which later became Runapalooza, and a race committee head of Women in the Park with his wonderful wife, Penny. And most importantly, from 2002 to 2018, the race director of one of the best 5-mile races in the country, the Spring Lake 5. And I could sit up here, obviously, and go on all night, but the most important thing that we need to remember is, besides doing all this, and being at those races, and being at those meetings, was all the time that Phil and Penny had to devote to this club and to these events to make sure that they went off properly. And they did it without a care or concern for their own well-being, because it was something that was very important to them. I tried to figure out what it was that made Phil do this for all these years. I was fortunate enough to get Phil's bio, and Phil said this: I started running at CBA and continued through college for years afterward. Running helped me in so many ways, I thought it was time for some payback. Well, we got paid back 1,000 times over, Phil. So on behalf of the entire club and the board, congratulate you for both presidents. And we have a watch for you as well. Don't go anywhere. And I'm sorry, but Phil, you're not getting out of here that easy. As most of you know, Phil's being inducted into the CBA Hall of Fame for his outstanding track career at CBA. The club felt that it was important to acknowledge this and honor you for your great accomplishment while you're at CBA. I'm pretty sure, as I said earlier, there was a lot I didn't know about the club when I first joined it, and as I got more and more involved. The one thing I definitely didn't know, and I can guarantee most of you in this room don't know, is how prolific of a runner Phil was. When Phil was at CBA, he would, besides winning many, many races, in 1971, his senior year, He was the indoor and outdoor Monmouth County High School champion for the 2-mile run. He followed that amazing career to the University of Toledo, where, again, he established himself as one of the top runners in the country and was an All-American in 1972 and 1975. In 1976, he qualified for the U.S. Olympic trials in the steeplechase, and 4 years later for the 10,000 meters. In 1986 and 87, Phil was the National Submaster Steeplechase champion. These are his PRs. Check this out. 5K, 14:02. 10K, 28:34. 1 mile, 4:07. Steeplechase, 8:45. And marathon, 2 hours and 22 minutes. Besides winning just about every race in the area, when he came back in the early 80s, I guess some of his, I'm going to try and trim this down, but when he ran the Polar Bear 5K in 1974 in 15 flat. In 1988, at the age of 36, on the old course at Brielle, which was harder, he ran 30:33. In 1990, at the age of 38, he came in 6th place at Spring Lake, running a 24:54. Phil, you are incredible. And on behalf of the club, we want to congratulate you. The club has purchased a table for you and your family at the Hall of Fame dinner, and we've taken out a full-page ad in your honor. I'm sorry. I apologize if we didn't recognize someone or we missed a particular group. And I really appreciate your patience and listening to us, especially for the awards, and most importantly for Phil and Penny, because this is way, way, way